Shalom Aleichem, everyone. We continue in Hachsek's learning of the Pele Yoetz, day number 224. Tuesday, almost Erev Pesach. One more day until all of our cleaning, all of our scrubbing, all of our checking of the lettuce, all of our preparing of the Haggadah, everything is ready to go for the glorious night when the Malachi Asharis, all of the angels come and they say, "Oh, Rabbi Shalom, look, 3,500 years later, the Yidden are still sitting around the table and they're extolling your praises and they're talking about how good it is to be a Yid, even though we've been through so much over the last 3,500 years, pogroms and Holocaust, inquisitions, October 7th, war with Iran, missiles are flying and sirens blasting right now. Even that, they're sitting around the Seder table and they say, Rabbi Shalom, we love you and we thank you for everything that you do for us. And we are so fortunate to be a member of Klal Yisrael. Now, one of our hallmarks is the way in which we maneuver ourselves through this very complicated physical world, a world of desires, a world of pleasures, a world of opportunities for ruchnius, and at the same time, opportunities for gashmius and the like. And this chapter, Hana, the pleasure that one receives in this world is made just for us to learn over here. Erev Yom Tov, we're going to have a lot of time for pleasure. 3 days of Yom Tov, 3 big seudas and meals, lots of roasts and lots of wine and lots of geschmacka desserts, kosher the Pesach and everything, tiyulim and cholamayid and everything, you name it, and the bisli that was made kosher the Pesach. How could a child live without bisli for 7 or 8 days of their life? It would be mamish the worst Pesach in the world. Hamburger bun rolls that are made just for you, so you can have your barbecue and your hamburger bun kosher the Pesach. How could we not live without hamburger buns this Pesach? It would be, we're B'nai Chorim, we're free people. How could we live without it? And of course, pizza that tastes just like J2 pizza from Lakewood, New Jersey, and now you can have it, mamish, all kosher the Pesach. How could we survive for so many days without that? So we have to have it. So on one hand, we have the great ruchnius of Pesach that is coming up, the Amun and Bitachen and Akar Satayv and all the amazing things that we recognize. On the other hand, there is the indulgence in Olam Hazeh in this world, and says the Pele Yoetz, let's talk about that. Kosu Chachmei HaMusar, the wise men of Musar, write, Sha'olam Hazeh im Olam Haba him tzar zu lezu. This world and the world to come, they are like tzars, they are like co-wives to each other. As long as whenever a person is running after the desires of and the foolishness of this world, and he benefits and he delights from the pleasures that he finds in Olam Hazeh, it's a sign that he's still on the outside of the spiritual world. From reaching the real ways of life, which is to ultimately be zeicha to merit, to benefit from the glory of the Shechina. And the punishment that one has when they are decomposing in the grave. Like the needles of the maggots that are going inside the person's flesh and skin. That's because he was grabbed by the klipa, by like this shell of impurity here in this world. Because he went after the pleasures of this world. Because they're a portion of the sitra acha, the very negative forces of impurity that you could find in this world, and you derived benefit and pleasure, and therefore the klipa, the shell that is going to entrap a person here in this world, is around them, and they are going in the wrong direction in life. Aval gufin the tzadikaya, however, the bodies of the righteous, the lo yishanu medila klum, they could care less about the pleasures of this world. Lo shalta b'hu, so the sitra achra and the klipos cannot rule over him. Va'aleim nemar, upon tzadikim it says, af b'sar yishkon levedach, even my flesh, it dwells with confidence, which means even when it'll be after 120 years and the tzaddik is going to go under the ground, So his body has nothing to worry about, no maggots, no worms, nothing, because his body was just a kli, it was a vessel to serve the Ribbono Shel Olam. It was just like the lavush. It's like the clothing that is enclothing his body, so that in his soul, so that his neshama would be able to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu for those 120 years. And therefore, it wasn't flesh, it wasn't blood, it wasn't skin, it wasn't fat and bones. It was just a body that became a spiritual entity to serve the Ribbono Shel Olam. Ki Amar Bazar HaKadosh, it says in the Zohar, Ki Mishu Aduk B'Avas Hashem, someone that clings to his love of Hashem, He'll find no pleasure at all from the ice cream and the cake and the pizza and the sushi with all the sauce on top. He will not desire any of that, because he loves being close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he knows the bigger the sushi roll, and the more crunchy the crunch is, and the more juicy the sweet sauce is with that hot mustard, the more the hot mayonnaise, the more that it's on there, the farther he's going to get away from the Ribbono Shel Olam. So he doesn't want to do those things. Rakis aneg be'avas Hashem al derech niksiv. All he wants to do is to have hana, to have pleasure from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like it says, "Ma yofis umanamta ava b'tanugim." How beautiful and how pleasureful is the love of tanugim, of the delights of this world, which is really the delight that one has when they are embracing the Ribbono Shel Olam. But the other things of this world, hamuchrachim, that are necessary. You got to eat a little bit, you have to drink a little bit, you have to sleep a little bit. There's physical things and needs that a person has. A person could do them as if they're being forced by a demon to do such a thing, and they are doing it l'shem shemayim. Al derech shamra ima shalom, like a woman by the name of Ima Shalom said al Rabbi Eliezer Baila. She said about her husband Rabbi Eliezer, when they would have intimate relations, it was like kaf l'shem. He was doing it only because he had no choice. That's a mitzvah to be together with his wife. And it's a mitzvah to try to have children, pirivia. Besides that, it was like he was being forced into it. Now, not everybody is on that madrega. I'm not sure that there's really people in the world today that are. And the maisa, a person has to take these words with a bit of a grain of salt. You have to make sure that your chumras that you take upon yourself, your stringencies and the like, are not going to affect other people, specifically your wife, in a very negative way. And even the chumash you take upon yourself in the world of what you will allow yourself and not allow yourself to have the pleasures from in this world, food and drink and the like, if it's going to break you and make you depressed and down because you don't eat this and you don't eat that and you don't drink this and you don't go here and you don't go there, so then you're not accomplishing anything. And you're going to have to find that balance. This is the balance that every single Oved Hashem has to find between the physical and the spiritual worlds. What's going to work best for them? It is fitting for everybody to be strengthened themselves and go deeper into pure thoughts. To understand wisely. All of the pleasures of this world, they're all just vanities and worthlessness and just the games. There's nothing there. Being rega ayo or being rega avad, 1 minute it's here, the next minute it's gone. Do not run and chase after them, be drawn after them. Even if a certain pleasure does come your way, you can go in revach mam and you get some extra money. Or your palate tasted some good food. You got a nice suit. Yom Tov is coming. Maybe you got a nice suit, got a nice fancy tie. Got some new cufflinks. Your wife got beautiful clothing for Yom Tov. Take it, immediately when that happens, a person should confound himself a bit in the hana, and he should say, if I could have so much pleasure from this, which is hevel rik, which is just emptiness and foolishness and the like, the more so. Will be the pleasure in the world to come. Asher tzadikim yoshvim, that the tzadikim are sitting in the nenim miziv hashchina, and they benefit and they have the pleasure They have the pleasure from the Ziv HaShechina, from the glory of the Shechina. That hana, that pleasure is greater than anything else in the world. We can't even imagine 1/1000 of what that pleasure is going to be while our souls are still in our bodies. The body is like a barrier between that true pleasure. All the more so. We need to have a love and a hana, pleasure for the Rebbeinu Shalom, our love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and fulfilling His mitzvahs. That's the real pleasure. When I do a mitzvah, you're going to sit by the Seder night. The Vilna Gaon, I believe, says there's 41 mitzvahs that a person will do on the night of the Seder. 2 nights, that's 82 mitzvahs that a person is going to rack up for themselves. Every mitzvah, the washing and the eating and the Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim and the leaning and the drinking and everything, benching and Hallel, everything that we do is a mitzvah. We should be loving every aspect of it. That's the real hana, that's the real spiritual delight and the pleasure that a person can receive. And as he writes over here, 1 hour of Torah and good deeds in this world is better than all of the pleasures of the world to come. Can you imagine such a thing? You could derive tremendous pleasure in this world from doing the Ratzon of Hashem. And you could feel it and you could enjoy it. But 1 hour of just the wafting pleasures in the world to come is mikol chai olam hazeh, is better than all of the life in this world. You can, in this world and the world to come, you can have enormous amounts of pleasure if you do things properly. And because of this, don't be mevatel, don't ever give up and nullify and miss out on the opportunities for learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. In that way, we will be drawn after and then be drawn after the pleasure of this world. Even if they would give you so much money and wealth and everything in this world, it should be nothing in your eyes. The person should think constantly that he's finding hana and koras ruach from olam hazeh, meaning every time that you're getting some kind of pleasure in this world, you have to think to yourself, what's it worth? What's that steak? What's that ice cream? This is pizza season before Pesach. How many slices of pizza could a person eat with fries and ranch dressing and ketchup? And how much could we eat? We're getting ready for the ultimate simcha, the ultimate hana, which is the hana of sitting by the Seder table. Ruchnius, clinging to the Rebbeinu Shalom, clinging to our emunah, bitachon, knowing what it means to be a yid. It's geschmack, so good to be a yid, be'ez Hashem. We should be zeicher to the taste, the ultimate hana on the night of the Sedarim, and that is where we are basking, literally basking in the ziv, in the glory of the Shechina HaKadoshah. All the best.